talk with you is going to be about foundation. And tonight we had a young man that worked very hard to strengthen his foundation. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So it's curious, the serendipity of life. What do I mean when I say foundation?
You mean like how your stances will be later on after?
Good. How strong your stances are, right? What else do I mean?
Like your strength and like the strength of your legs.
Good. What else is foundation?
The strength you want to show yourself in future.
Okay.
The benefits of what you do in the present.
Okay.
The things that you start off with.
The thing that you start off with. Excellent. What is the foundation of a tree?
Its roots.
The roots. The roots are the foundation of a tree. Some trees have roots that grow out on the surface of the ground. Some trees have roots that grow underground. What happens when a hurricane comes?
The tree falls down if it's not strong.
The tree that has the roots on the surface falls down. The trees that have the roots buried deep into the ground, they don't fall down. Most of the time. Unless they break from the top. Right?
Sure.
Foundation can be found in everything. Everything. When your parents tell you, eat your breakfast, eat your lunch, eat your dinner, they're helping you build your foundation. When your parents tell you, do your homework when you get home, they are helping you to develop your foundation. Because in that foundation, they are preparing you for your future. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
That's right. When a construction company builds a house or an apartment building, what's the first thing they build?
The foundation.
The foundation. In other words, the floor. Right?
Yeah.
Your mabo is the floor. And believe it or not, you might not understand this yet, but your foundation, your stance, builds the strength of your kicks and your punches. You might not understand how your stance relates to your arm, but it does. Do you know why? Because they're connected. Because they're connected. So the stronger your foundation is, the stronger everything is going to be, including your character. Did you know that? So this young man tonight was challenged by a 5-minute mabo. He was challenged. He could have done it way up here and done it easy, but he decided that he was going to go all the way down. And he felt the pain. That's the pain of power. Power does not come easy, and it does not come cheap. It has a price. that power will reflect in everything that you do in your life. From growing up to be a young man, showing your sense of foundation in your habits, in your manners, in how you conduct yourself. Chinese Kung Fu builds every part of the human being, outside and inside. Many, 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 many decades ago, I had some of my top students. They were all Si Dai, Si Hings, and Si Fus. I had some of my top students do the same exercise, sitting in Mabo. Do you know how long they sat in Mabo?
How?
3 hours. 3 hours. I put a big thick stick of incense because they had them back then, right? The really, really thick ones. It was about this big, and it took 3 hours for that stick of incense to burn. And they weren't allowed to get out of Mabo until the stick of incense was done. 3 hours. And you know what I did? I put them all in a staircase. So if one fell, they would all fall. They won. They didn't fall. At the end of the 3 hours, when they came back downstairs to the main hall, they all collapsed. They had a hard time walking. Do you know what happened to those groups of students? They all became masters. Some of them became masters of monkey, like Sifurigo. When you reach that level of strength, you become virtually undefeatable. Because when you acquire that type of strength in your legs, what do you think happens when you kick someone in the chest? They fall? Yeah. What else happens?
They get winded.
They get winded. What else happens?
If it hits the ribs, then it can pierce your lungs.
So,
It can sting. If you train your legs, then it can sting.
that's right. It can break your ribs. Okay? When you develop that kind of power, you kick somebody in the chest, you're going to break their ribs. If you break them really hard, like you said, the ribs can actually pierce the lung.
Or worse, the heart.
Or worse, the heart.
And you would die.
Fight's over. Right?
Yep.
The threat is over.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Sure, sir.
Sure.
That is what comes from foundation. That's why Maho is so important. And that's why we push you so hard to go down, to stay low, to show a square horse stance, a square Maho. That's why. It doesn't just build your legs, it builds your core as well. But it doesn't just build your core as well. You know what else it builds?
What?
Your mind. The power of your mind. That's what Kung Fu is. I am very proud of everyone today, and I'm very proud, I must say, of Sifu Rigo, because today I saw a different level. Not just from one young man, but from everyone. Sifu, I don't know what you've been doing, but even students that I have seen weak performances before, today we're strong like Superman. And that makes me very proud, and that should make you very proud, because this is how, as my master used to say, this is how we help the people.
I'll add one thing. I didn't do much. all I did was, hey, we're gonna push harder. And they all accepted the challenge. So as much as you can give me credit, actually goes to them for accepting the challenge of difficulty. So
Which
good job,
means
guys.
one thing. It works. It works. One day I will see you all, if I'm still here, I will see you all as healthy, strong, successful, and happy adults. And I will have done my job. And Sifu will have done his job. Congratulations to all. And also, talk about foundation. I want to thank the parents. Okay? I want to thank the parents. Because it's the parents that give the support to make this happen. Okay? It's the parents that remind the kids, did you practice today? Did you get ready for class? Did you get ready for your test? It's the parents. You know, I will finish with a quick little story. When I started Kung Fu, I was 11. And I lived up here in North Miami. I was born in Miami, so I lived up here with my mom and my dad in North Miami. When I found my master, Si Gong Chin, when I found my master, his school was down in South Miami, 13 miles away. 13 miles away. For 3 days a week, my grandfather, who lived down in South Miami, would drive up to North Miami, pick me up at school, take me down to South Miami to take my Kung Fu class, then drive me back up to North Miami to drop me off at my house, and then drive back home to South Miami. 3 times a week, he would drive almost 60 miles for years so I could study Kung Fu. That's what family does. That's what family means. So never, ever, ever forget. Never take for granted the effort and the work that your parents go through to get you here. In the payment of tuition, in the time, in the driving, and also sometimes, what do they got to do? They got to grab you and they got to drag you because you don't want to go or you don't want to go or you don't, and they still make you go. And that's not easy. So, that's your foundation. Right there. They're all sitting there watching you. They're not at home watching TV, okay, or eating some food or something. They're here watching you. Because you are them. You are them. You are an extension of them. They are your foundation. They are your roots. Never, ever forget where you come from. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Right. Wow.